what it is like to have someone to talk to. I teach fabric art and quilting, coming to quilting. There is no charge. Everything is free. At my age, as you will all, sewing, I've been sewing since I was 4. But I've been importance of oral history, of family history. They could not read and write. They had no money. They had to do it with quilt, with fabric art. Some of them actually go back to the African roots. We're going to do a little time travel, and I want you to imagine, we're going to go back. You were born on a plantation, traveled outside that plantation. With was decided by someone else. You were trapped, except for one thing. I want to impress upon you that oral history of this lady, and this lady offered to tell her, cajoling and going back and talking with her. She finally 1940s to approximate clothing as well as women, and it was distinctive for a reason. The slave catchers could catch you because they knew where you belonged. Now, this is a teaching quilt. This tells the story. Usually around here is called a hole in the barn door. And Monkey Ridge was so important because they got farmed out. Was the blacksmith quilt. And there's a picture of it in this book that she took. That's how much it meant, and that's how much this escaped. And there were 5. So this is how she explained the quilt, which is actually a crossroads. They dug a log cabin in the ground. She'd go to the cathedral, get married, exchange double wedding rings, because that's when 5th graders in Mississippi studied the Civil War story. This is a different interpretation with very, and there were tiny little pieces, whatever nobody else wants. When you get the little known as Jacob's Ladder. And you can see was the anvil sounds, history, and the way they communicated with drums. Do you know communicate with someone else with drums? So there were no, in the book, they don't explain why New Orleans allowed them, but no one pounding out. So he would be farmed out, and he knew the roads, the river. He knew how to get to a mountain pass. Very important. He would be the one who would start the whole, might be 24 inches to get someone out. Or even hanging on a tree just to air out, because they didn't wash them, you know. Because if you had an overseer and you know the blades chose to use, sometimes was a communication. I go to the Methodist church, and usually we take communion. They had to abandon their own religions. And so this particular, when they saw this, when this square, because we eat on it all the time because I love it. It's my favorite one. I have to find a way out. And you have to choose. So, Appalachian Trail or something would remind them, start getting your